So, here we are.
Hello everyone, sorry that we took so long.
So, that's called being... Okay, that's called being fashionably late.
We were riding the tram. I got stuck there.
So, here we are. Great.
No, you need to mute it. Because
yeah.
Unmute the computer, otherwise it will mute the mic as well.
Let's see if, yeah.
Can you hear us?
I guess
Everyone,
someone else in the room will tell us if the audio isn't working.
Can you hear us, guys, online? Please write in the chat if you can hear us. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we can see the live chat, so if you're
here in the live chat, you can comment that you could hear us. If not,
yeah, it's good.
It's good?
It's good.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. All right.
Yeah, so here we are. This is live stream number 2.
Yeah.
And this is the second day that CG Erfurt and Platform FV, we're here in the Social Impulse Academy's take on the pop-up shop.
Yep.
So if you were tuning in yesterday, you would have seen we had an opening ceremony, and that was engaging with the organizers of this, and also House de Americas, who introduced their initiative that they're showcasing inside the pop-up shop.
Oh.
So I guess I'll give a quick overview of the pop-up shop and this week, and then we will have an introduction into our guest today, Victor.
But before you proceed, how about we take off our masks?
Okay, sure.
Please, Victor.
All right, so thank you. I guess it's safe. We're safe. We're both safe. But we have to take care of Corona. It's important people stay safe at home.
Sure. Yeah, so for the next 3 weeks, we're going to be here in the pop-up shop, and there's going to be a series of initiatives and enterprises which the Social Impulse Academy has been supporting to get off the ground and to launch into a new level. So for the first week, we have a few interesting initiatives, and as I said, last night we had House de Americas on live stream. Tomorrow we'll have Dana introducing her artistic endeavor around art therapy, and today we're lucky to have with us Victor Murillo, who is introducing his initiative, which is Victor's Paintball Field and Store. I got that right.
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you, Robert. So hi, as Robert mentioned, my name is Victor Murillo. Yes, as you can tell, he's not from around. No, so my name is Victor Murillo. I am from Venezuela. I've been living in Germany for 5 years, and the last 2 years I've been living here in Erfurt, and I've been lucky enough to find a paintball team to play with, but I couldn't find a paintball field here in Erfurt near home. And since we're here under student situations, it's kind of it's sad that we don't have a paintball field to go and access through public transportation.
Where's the nearest one if you wanted to
the nearest one, if you wanted to go on the weekend, if they were open, it's in Gera. It's a Millennium Paintball Field Park, and it's about a 2-hour drive from Erfurt, and you require a car, and there's no public transportation to get there. So
okay, so if I wanted to play paintball tomorrow, the answer is I couldn't play paintball.
Most likely you couldn't if you don't have a car to get there. Sadly, no, it's not accessible.
I have to say, I haven't really come across paintball much in my life, and I think it's quite a niche, small sport. So I'm really interested, how did you come into contact with this sport? What was your first connection with it?
It's a funny story. So in Venezuela, I studied law, and I was working at a law firm, and they did a team building workshop where they took us to play paintball for the first time, and that was my first experience with playing the interns versus the associates, and it was quite fun, but it was rentals, and this opened a new world for me, because the moment after I finished that game, I got home, went on Amazon and bought all the gear I could.
Sure. Okay. And who won in that game?
Well, interns were extremely motivated to give something to the associates to talk about the next day. We got extra work the next day though. But
Sure. Yeah, so that's your first intro into the world of paintball, but I mean, I have. It's only through you that I have
Well,
any glimpse
yeah.
into this world. What does the paintball community look like as
So-
a community?
When I started, I thought the same. Maybe this is just a thing that you play as a hobby or something. And just got in and start looking, and it turns out that it's a huge industry. It's actually considered a $500 million industry in the U.S. So it's quite big. It's not that small as you think. It's actually played over 123 different countries at the world right now.
Okay.
And yeah, it's funny. It hasn't been considered a sport or an official sport because there are different set of rules depending on the league that you're playing in or the country that you're playing in. But right now, everything is getting gathered together into one full thing where you could find one set of rules. Right now, all the leagues are following the same set of rules, which is the NXL rule book. And
Yeah, it will be back on. Yeah,
Yeah,
our video
definitely.
dropped down for a moment. so
sorry,
it's going
our,
to be
our video
back
went
on.
off, but it's
That's
all
the
good.
our issues, technical issues as always.
Our cameraman is having issues with the camera, but he will be back. There we go.
Wonderful.
There we go. Thank you, cameraman. So as I was saying, all the paintball right now is being, or all the rules are being set by the American League, which is the NXL, and all the paintball community follow these rules, and all the layouts and games and stuff. Are,
Can I ask what NXL stands for?
Yeah, it's
National something league.
Yeah.
X
well,
is that Extreme Sports League, or
Yes, I believe so. Anyways, you can always visit www.nxl.com, and there you'll find more information about paintball itself, or where to play it, or where there's the nearest field to you. Which the goal of today is to open, or my goal for today is to be able to open or find a location to open a field here in Erfurt. So that's pretty much my goal.
And what do you think a paintball field would bring to Erfurt?
So if you talk about paintball field here in Erfurt, I think it would have such a good impact on the community, because if you ask most of the students at the university level, which the University of Erfurt not only has the University of Erfurt, you also have the Technikhochschule Erfurt and other institutes. They all have between the age 18 plus. They all when you ask them what they do on the weekends, they don't stay here in Erfurt because there isn't much to do other than go out to the park, or when we could go out or do parties and stuff, but it isn't really that attractive.
Sure.
If you add a paintball field, maybe you could do something else. It's a different sport or activity for you to do here in Erfurt.
Sure. And I think we have a question in the live chat. Is it feasibly possible to open a paintball field in Erfurt? Are there regulations that are blocking you, or what is your biggest barrier at the moment?
No, my biggest issue at the moment is finding a proper location where what I want is a location that has access to public transportation. So, because I don't mind, there are empty buildings or fields. I would rather have an open field that is near the city of Erfurt and it's accessible by train or bus. But pretty much I'm open to any suggestions, and this is the reason I joined the whole pop-up store situation or opportunity, was because maybe perhaps this way I can reach someone within Erfurt that has this location for me to take advantage of.
So this seems like a good moment to jump into the thing you were holding.
Well,
in your arms.
it's not a thing. This is called a paintball marker, and this is fully assembled. So you have the CO2 tank, the paintball marker itself, the hopper where you put the paintballs in. It's an electric hopper, and then you have
Maybe hold it out to the camera.
yeah. So you have, here's the hopper, here's the CO2 tank, and this is the entire marker. And as like I said, paintball is one of the safest sports there is. There is a barrel cover that it should not be removed unless you have a mask, or everyone within the room has a mask on. And I'm not talking about the FP2 mask. I'm talking about this type of masks, which is specifically made for paintball, that gives proper eye protection and protects all the important parts of your face, so you won't get damaged.
And is it dangerous? Like, is this going to hurt, or is it dangerous? I guess they're different questions.
Yeah, it's well, it depends on what you're liking or not. And dangerous, it's not actually here's a fun fact. Paintball is less dangerous than, or there are less chances of you getting injured playing paintball than in golf. Mm-hmm. So there's more chances of you getting injured.
Yeah, and golf is not a particularly dangerous sport.
Golf is a sport. Golf is considered a big sport, and there's lots of money there. So
sure. So it's not like football where someone gets shot in.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, if you play football or rugby, it's you're gonna get stepped on for sure. Paintball, you won't. It's something where you're gonna be safe, and it's only as dangerous as you might. Or the level up to you're willing to take it to, and there's no danger behind, only some soft punches, I guess.
Sure. And so, as you said, you're a startup, a business, an idea and a concept at the moment, and you're looking for some very practical things in terms of a location and the support and infrastructure to establish your paintball field. So I guess my question would be, if someone is watching this or engaging with this and they're interested in following up and learning more and finding information about Victor's paintball field and store, like, where is your home on the internet?
Well, so luckily I've been supported by the Social Impulse Academy, where they have managed to give me all the right and technical stuff here in Erfurt, and they have been such a great help. They've been finding this opportunity and the time for me to appear here at the pop-up store, and they've helped me, and they come up with a website where you can actually find more information about me. As you can see here behind me, there are some different banners where you can find more information, and this will be all available online. It's a paintball.socialimpulse.de. Sorry, it's point, or that. Depending on the language.
And I think that link is in the description
as well. Yeah, it is. Oh, thank you. So I honestly, I only shared the link. I didn't get to read it. I was more focusing into what I was looking for. As I said, this whole presentation is for me to get someone who might have a location for me to open this place. Mm-hmm. As I already have all the right contacts, as I've been playing paintball for more than 12 years. I've met people, I've met brand owners, and I've been talking with all the suppliers. I just need a location for me to open this place. And one of my ideas is maybe look for a place for the summer. Hopefully by that time we'll be allowed out if Corona allows it.
Yeah, and I think I can see a lot of people and organizations that could be interested in a paintball field. For example, as you mentioned, team building for a law firm or an organization or a school or just university friends. It really seems like there is a lot of people who could be interested in this.
It's not just university people. It's actually, according to regulations, it's 16 and plus. So children under or above 16 years old, or 16 years old, even 16 years old, are able to play. You wouldn't have to go to the Czech Republic to go and play, because that's like the nearest place where you could go play paintball.
Wow. And it's Victor's paintball field and store.
So the store part is well, it would come after. It's a two-step business plan. First, I would open the paintball field. I would like to open the paintball field to allow people to have the experience, to use a proper paintball marker, to use the proper gear, to have some attractions, and well, then afterwards, people are interested. I can see, and I know they will be interested as much as I am. Having a store here in Erfurt will be also a benefit, because Erfurt is the middle of Germany, and people from other states of Germany will be easier for them to come here than to travel all the way up north, where there is the other main supplier here in Germany, or getting things from online, or the Czech Republic or Austria, which is another issue.
And I'm curious, we're in the middle of a pandemic. How has the sport managed during these times? Is it on pause at the moment, or is it still go in some sense? Or?
It's a funny thought. Yeah. So starting last year, I started playing the league here, the Eastern League of Germany. Germany has one of the biggest paintball league in Europe itself, and it turns out Erfurt has one of the best teams in the Eastern League, and I'm playing with them. Deep Bridge, go team.
Sure.
And they got into this league. We started playing. It was constant weekends going on and playing. But then pandemic came 2020. We only had during the summertime about 4 game days or 3 game days, and then this year we've only been together 1 day to actually play paintball.
Wow.
This year, and we're almost halfway through the year, and we're still waiting on the situation with the pandemic to hold out. But the team is there. We're actually gathering new information. We're looking for a new. We're actually getting a new sponsorship and stuff like that. So there's also sponsors in this sport, and it's always a way, and it's a good way for me to practice my German.
Fantastic.
Yes, getting here and having to speak German, it's one of those things that you have to really work on.
Yeah, well, sport is one of those things that crosses all sorts of divides, whether
Yeah.
it's language or culture or backgrounds.
The language barrier, I mean, there is no such thing as there is a big such thing called the German language barrier. But once you're over, I mean, German players are as friendly as people from Venezuela or from the US or from Panama or anywhere. I mean, paintball players are just friendly. As long as you speak paintball, they'll welcome you. It's like a big family.
Mm-hmm.
It is a big family.
Well, that's a very nice and positive note to finish the stream on, I think.
Some questions.
I think, definitely now we can turn to our...
All right, let's have a look at the chat. So who's up there asking questions?
Well, we have some lovely feedback on our frame rate and our video quality.
Yes.
And yeah, so interesting. So there's a question from Grigori who is asking, you're talking about one field, so would it be possible to have instead rotating locations?
Well, there are rotating locations for events, but what I'm looking, I would love to have more locations. The thing is, if you setting up a field every weekend, it would be a more cost. It's not cost efficient, and since we're looking on the business area, we're looking for a cost efficient. That is why we're only looking for one location. It'd be nice to have more locations, but we start with one location. Maybe in the near future we could expand to other locations. Hopefully.
And is paintball just in like the outside field, or
No.
like urban settings?
This is what. So yeah, there are 3 types of paintball. So you have Woodsland, you have speedball, and you have hyperball. So what I play in a more than for me it's a sport. I play speedball. There's people that play woodsball, which is on the forest, people dressed with the camouflage and all these things. They do play outside, more outside. My type of game, we could play it indoors as well. There's actually one paintball field in Ostschatz, which is about 2 hours and a half from here, which is in an old tank fabric.
Oh wow, okay.
So yeah, they have an old tank fabric. Cool. It's pretty cool. It's lovely. If you have a chance to go play there, I would recommend to play there. It's lovely. But it's a 5-hour drive, back and forth. If you come to think about it,
even if you have a car, yeah.
It's a long trip. Getting there, you're super hyped up. Getting back, you're almost dead. So you need like 5 drivers.
Yeah. Wow. So let's have a look at another question. Let's see. We have one question, a simple question. Someone wants to get involved. What do they do? So I think this is kind of like how to find you.
Well, how to find me? It's pretty much look me up on the Social Impulse Academy website. There you'll find more information. It's socialimpulse.de.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll find lots of information, not only just the paintball field, you'll find other business activities or ideas, which is other example is House of Americas, which they're not a business idea, they're a social initiative where they gather Latin Americans. But other than that, you'll find more information about me there. And if you want to look for equipment right now here in Germany, you could go to paintball.de. And there you can buy gear, but I would recommend not to buy gear immediately. Start going with a rental, get a friend that plays paintball to take you to play paintball. This is the fastest and easiest way to get hooked, because sometimes people have bad experiences with rental gear. And this is the thing that I want to prevent when by opening my own paintball field. I want to have the proper or good equipment for people to have a good experience, and they'll come back wanting to go for more.
And I guess another place that they can find you over the next 3 weeks, we're
here at the pop-up store. Here, just come to Fishmarkt and you'll probably see me around here.
Fishmarkt 11.
Fishmarkt 11, exactly.
And we have our colourful window display, and over the next few weeks we're going to have several streams. There we are. Thank you for the heads up. But yeah, so over the next few weeks, we're going to have several streams of people participating in this pop-up shop, and we're always going to be here accessible. You can come along. You can say hello if you register in advance.
Ask questions.
And of course, primarily, you can always access us online, as Victor said, at socialimpulse.de is our website, and that links to all of our homes on the internet. So unless there's other questions coming online.
Let's go, people ask questions. Go ahead. I see someone from Spain writing, DLX Spain. Or,
DLX is better than Eclipse.
Yeah, DLX is better than Eclipse. Okay, yes. It's a commentary that we should not say. See, we have a Planet Eclipse, and Planet Eclipse is great. It's one of the oldest brands there is, and their equipment is solid. And for example, this paintball marker is about 10 years old and still functioning, and it works better today than it worked the first day I got it out of the box.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess, there's one other question, which is about whether paintball can have a social aspect. And I guess that connects to we had a podcast a while back where we talked about how it really connects people, connects communities, builds a social fabric.
Yeah, it could give some, so coming back to this social impact itself, we could give the opportunity to children to interact in different ways. I mean, it's not always football or safe falls or these things. Sometimes you just gotta confront the trouble in different ways, and well, what a better way to try something than with paintball. I mean, you can always play capture the flag or...
Yeah, and it seems like it's a lot of the issues with accessing marginalized people, especially young people. I mean, I come from a youth organization, youth clubs background, and the issue is accessing marginalized young people, getting them out the door into the organizations.
Exactly, convincing.
And there's a bit of attraction from paintball that this is, a way that you can get people into an organization and into, engaging in a bit more of a civic way.
I'm sure if you enter a children's group and tell them that you want to go read books or things like that, they will be happy because they're getting something. But if you ask them if they want to play paintball, they'll jump right out of the chair immediately. I mean, we have our volunteers from CGE jumping at the background, but like they really want to play paintball. So, we also thought if we gather enough people, we could rent a van or something and drive to Gera. I'll speak with the owner of this paintball field and try to start making groups for people to get to know paintball a bit more, and I'll guide them through until we get lucky enough to open our own field here in Erfurt. So that's one of the ideas for the summer, perhaps.
There's another question about the age restriction. I think you mentioned 16.
Yeah. So sadly, the age restrictions in Germany is up to like minimum. You need to be 16 years old. If you're,
How does that compare to other countries?
well, in other countries, depending. For example, I know in Panama, you could play if you're 12 years old. If you play at caliber 50, so there are two types of paintballs. So the size of the bore size of this one is caliber .68, and there's a smaller caliber which is 50 caliber, and the ball is a bit smaller and the pain is less. Therefore, children are able to play. There are other type of games such as airsoft and gel soft and gel something, and this is starting also to pop around. But paintball is the main option, and sadly 16 years old is the restriction here in Germany, and that would be the age, because I want to stay safe.
Sure. Well, I mean, this has been quite an interesting discussion. I think that we could talk for all day. I mean, you could talk all day about paintball.
Definitely. I can.
More hours in the day than you can talk about paintball. And hopefully one day, if you get a field, you can play paintball here in Erfurt.
We have another question.
Yeah, so this is another question. It's similar to something that we talked about earlier in terms of practically what is it that you need to start this business? In terms of location, resources,
resources are always welcome, but the main target for today is to find a location where I can set up the paintball field. As I said, I've been speaking with suppliers. I got everyone ready. It's just it's just 2 phone calls away. As long as, and all that they have said is, you find a location, we'll get everything there in a week or 2. I'm not getting things.
Everything's really waiting on this.
Literally, everything is waiting on a location. Once I have a location, I set everything up, and I could have a paintball field running in 2 to 3 weeks.
And you have this poster on the wall with some dimensions. I'm just curious, what does a paintball field look like?
So yeah, depending on as I said, there's 3 types. Speedball is the one I play, and the dimensions of the field is 38 meters wide by 45 meters long.
Okay, so it's more square.
It's a square. It's literally a square, and it's like a chessboard. So we play with inflatable bunkers, and you can move them around, and this is the benefit, because monthly or weekly you could change the layout, and people play different layouts. And let's say you have there is a tournament in the US, and you want to play the same as the pro players, you can play exactly the same layout here in Germany, for example. So that's a benefit of having the inflatable bunkers. And this small size or this range itself, it's quite easy. It's been done already in Panama by friends of mine, and this is how I got all the suppliers and all the information and all the requirements that I need to assemble these. And it will take pretty much here in Germany, with all the permissions and everything, about 3 weeks.
Okay, wow. Well, are there other questions? So this is an interesting question. So there's a lot of restrictions in terms of owning firearms, and this looks a lot like a gun. So what restrictions are there?
So this is actually registered. If you can see here, you can see it, the guys in the camera.
A serial number.
There's a serial number. It's been registered. It's called an F stamp, and it's a thing that says it doesn't fire bullets, or it's only a bore size. It tells the bore size. And this bore size, it's not considered lethal. Therefore, if the police stops me and I don't have the F stamp, they could retain the marker until I pay the fine and register the gun.
Okay, but in terms of like before you buy, getting a certificate or getting a test?
Nothing. You don't require anything other than being 16 plus. And if you're 16, you require your parents to buy it and sign a waiver where they're responsible for you, and they promise that you will not be shooting anybody randomly on the streets.
Sure. Okay, so I think we've burned through all the questions that are there, and we burned through all the questions that we had prepared. So yeah, again, here we are in the pop-up shop. And
come by, just drop by. Everyone is welcome.
And tomorrow
to see on the window, because
there's posters in the window describing who's here this week, and every week you'll be able to see who will be in the shop that week. And tomorrow we're coming back with another live stream with the third resident.
Tune in and find out more.
So keep an eye on our pages for more information about that. And thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Robert, for having me, and thank you guys. Sorry for the little camera issues, but okay, that's it. Have fun. Are we done?